Okay, guys, we had an absolutely amazing week last week. Now we're going to start off the last week's recap, starting off with NFP Friday. That was on the 7th of October. So let's have a look what happened. Okay, good afternoon and welcome, guys. It is NFP Friday. If you are not pumped, it's time to get pumped, guys. Listen, we're about to have an absolutely amazing session together over the next half. A massive spike down, massive spike down. So we will read the numbers in a second. Okay, so we'll read the numbers in a second. I'm just going to go ahead and pop in one trade there. Let's quickly open up. What are we getting? Okay, so massively positive for the dollar. So we're going to see indices fall, right? So we're going to jump in on some sells and indices. This is not a good thing because this means in essence that the Fed is going to be super, super aggressive when it comes to their policy meetings when they get back into reality. So USD ZAR, I think, is also going to push quite strong. I'm pretty happy on USD ZAR to get in on a trade there as well. And again, because we're close to that 61.8, that 78.6, I'm just going to hold a little bit of a longer position. We have Brandon in the house. We have Ntombi house. We have Nabo in the house. We have guys. We have the team in the house. We have Npo in the house. Wow, you guys are amazing. Guys, we are smashing NFP live. I think I should maybe show some of my profits just to make the devil jealous. Okay, I'll show some of my profits. There we go. So there's $12,000 banked right there. And I'm going to close up maybe one of my bigger trades. Let's close up. I think what I'm going to do here is let me close up a 50 lot position. So I'm going to secure a $6,000 position. Guys, look at USD ZAR. I'm making money on USD ZAR as well. Like it's for free. Look at that. Look at USD ZAR. Who's in on USD ZAR with me? Trailing stops activated. USD ZAR to the moon. Guys, I said NFP could be big, but we are absolutely smashing it. I think I'm going to book some flights to Cape Town and go and sit on the beach this weekend. Why? Because we made $250,000 in 20 minutes. Where else can you do that? I've got no idea. Something else. So as you can see, we absolutely dominated. We killed the markets on NFP Friday. Now, looking at and into Monday, we start off with a dollars for lunch session. Where once again, we did the expected. We milked the markets. Let's have a look. I'm reopening those sells just because I believe we just got a temporary stop out there towards the top side. So I'm reopening them. And again, I'm seeing all the right signs, the original signs that we saw for the push to the downside. So I'm pretty happy to poke in one last trade there. And again, I'm doing this at my own risk because I do know we are in a range. But again, should markets collapse at this point here, my stop loss is a little bit above where we're currently at. I'm going in for that secondary position there. And I'll do a little bit of I'm doing a little bit more of a cheeky stop loss, right? I'm doing a 2,000 points trailing, just for the reason being that, right? Okay, there we go. Nice big push from the markets. That is about 2,000 points right there. It's about 200 pips. So I'd like to see that push just a little bit more sustained, but it looks like across the board, we're seeing those markets break down towards that downside. So we're going to go in here and I'm going to layer some orders in because we are through that technical zone. And it definitely looks across the board, unless we're going to pull back now, because remember, we are at support, right? If we get that slight push further, and what I'm doing is I'm basically layering my orders here. There we go. Nice, massive move there. Trailing stops are engaged. We've got some good sells in on that one. And again, if you are on that original sell from US 30, you should and will be definitely smiling at this point. We're currently now running a total of 1,200 pips for a sell. Now, Tuesday, pounds for breakfast, we set the tone because we saw the PPI data was due. So we looked at a market analysis of a high likelihood outcome, and this is what ended up happening. Let's take a look. We are going to be focusing on the PPI today because I do want to break down what is a producer price index leading up to what is the CPI that we're going to receive tomorrow. And what does this mean for the Federal Reserve? What does this mean for the general condition of the market and where we could see markets heading? We do have dollars for lunch this afternoon, right? So for me on US 30, I would say my key zone to start looking for short side opportunities, I would really say is going to be in that zone right there. So anything below that level is where I'd start to look out for that short opportunity. Now on Wednesday's dollars for lunch, we got that PPI data just before the dollars for lunch session, and I spoke about this in the Telegram groups. We capitalized on a major sell. We sold again within that dollars for lunch session and ultimately bought the breakout, and it was massive, as you will see when we get into Thursday. But let's just have a look at that Wednesday dollar for lunch. Come to a beautiful dollars for lunch session on this beautiful Wednesday, the 12th of October. We are in for a session and a half. As you guys know, that PPI data came out and it wasn't expected to be a monster, but it was, right? Remember, as I explained this morning, that data comes out positive, which is not a good thing for indices. We could see indices fall substantially. If it came out negative, which was better for long-term outlook, which would mean the dollar would fall and indices would rise. That data came out positive and we saw a massive move in the market. So if you are in that trade and you are proactively in that one, then you should be smiling right now because markets are absolutely going nuts. So if you are in any sort of sell on indices, please do let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chats. So this was my view of where indices were currently sitting just before the PPI release. I did send a message into the group saying, guys, listen, US 30 as well as other indices are all currently sitting at resistance on 15 minutes, right? So if you have a look at the 15-minute chart, right, we can see that indices in terms of Dow Jones US 30 was sitting right there at that moment in time. This is a 15-minute, as I've said, it was sitting right there. So either a strong PPI release would be negative on the dollar, we would see that shoot to the floor, or we'd see that weak PPI data in line with the Federal's expectations, easing up the stock market's fears and allowing indices to rally. Obviously, we got the former and not the latter, and that is why we got that massive move. Now, again, this move was substantial, guys. I mean, we had at some point here over 250 points. Let's just see here. Yeah, we had over 250 pips in gap, and then we saw that massive move. By the time that move started to materialize, I think I caught one or two sells earlier, maybe slightly earlier, but not substantial. And then I added in some orders to the way down. We did some slight pullback. I held the pullback, and now we're in this new market state and market formation. So in essence, what we need to be looking out for this afternoon, right, as we look at the New York Stock Exchange open, and as we transition into live trading in the next 2.5 minutes, what we're looking for is, will we see indice markets break this current structure that we're seeing? So we are getting in that New York Stock Exchange open. We are getting those push downs. We are getting a nice healthy push. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a position towards the downside. Let's add a second one towards the downside. Now remember, I'm already running in profit, right? I'm already running those 3,000 pips, $3,000 towards the downside. So I'm not adding risk to my accounts. If you are late to the trades and late to the party, then you may be taking straight risk. Where I'm not taking straight risk, my previous trades are already in profits. Now, beautiful trades there. We are already in quite a bit of profit. I would suggest on these trades, utilize potentially about a 2,000 points trailing stop. That is beautiful. Markets are pushing nice and sharp. Stop losses have already moved into profit. So 2,000 points, we're adding another trade there. Let's go. That is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to do a quick zoom in so you guys can see a little bit clearer what is busy happening there. And let's add another trailing stop there. I'm going to add another trailing stop for about 2,000 points. There we go. So trailing stops are engaged. We're running in profit. My previous trades are now running over $6,000 in profit as we speak right now. So as I said, the New York Stock Exchange is basically taking that PPI data and it's running with it, right? It's looking at a minute time frame on the same chart. There we go. So nice big move there. We are moving around about 600 pips in profit towards the downside. We are getting a breakout towards the top side. So it means I will reverse that position and we will then just look for a stop loss below previous support here. And as you guys can see there, my trailing stop is already engaged and we are already running in profit. My second trailing stop, I'm going for a 4,000 points trailing. And as you guys can see there, let's quickly just drag that one down there. Again, back to US30. Have a look at that. So not only did we smash that whole downside move, but we've also caught that top side move with all trades currently being in profit. Guys, look at US30. If you are in a buy with me, have a look at that US30 move there. Massive spike towards the top side. So not only have we banked it massively towards the downside, there's another 500 pips towards the top side. Right, there we go. Massive, massive trade. For those of you who have your Globex 360 live accounts above $100, we're going to have an earlier show, right? We're going to have an earlier show starting at about 2:15. So it's going to be a special event. Now, Thursday being CPI day, we started off with a pounds for breakfast where we caught a massive, massive buy. Obviously looking forward to and anticipating that CPI data. Let's have a look at what happened in the pounds for breakfast. And directly after that is our dollars for lunch, where we caught that CPI data for that monster sell. Let's have a look. It is Thursday, 13th of October. And as always, I am your host, Dane Panamas. Guys, I am super excited about today's session. The whole week I've been speaking about what is coming in terms of Thursday and what we could expect from the markets today, or the London market open. And we're going to start and jump in and have a look at what is currently happening excuse me, on US30. So US30, as we were currently sitting yesterday, was sitting in a beautiful position. We shorted the US30 yesterday afternoon in a live session. US30 broke back into structure, and then we ended up buying US30, right? So if you caught both that short as well as that long, massive well done. I do believe our pip count for the day was plus minus about 2,500 pips per position. So if you had more than one position, you had 3 positions, we're talking about 7,000 pips. To the fact, okay, so we are going to go long on US30, and we're going to buy out US30 and place our stop losses below the previous support. So I'm going to pump in 2 orders there at that 88.2. My cashback wallet, just in terms of the last trading week, right? I've moved money out of my cashback wallet already, but every time that I place a trade, right, Globex gives me money back for the trades that I place. And this is automatic, meaning there's nothing that I need to do. All I need to simply do is have a Globex 360 live account, and whatever activity happens on my live account, I get back real money in dollars that I can do whatever I want to do with. I can send that, I can withdraw that to my bank account, I can put that in my trading account. This is just for this week, right? As an added extra, as an added bonus, I've already made, let's say, $120 absolutely free. There's nothing I had to do. This is just from my trade activity, and that is what it is all about. And I believe we're still rocking profits. Oh yes, guys, look at those profits. If you're in profits on US30 on that buy, let's hear some love, let's share some love. I'm currently running about $1,000 in profit right now on US30. CPI data is going to rock this afternoon. But in the event, we're about to have a massive, massive day. So if you are in profits this morning, if you're still in your US30 buy this morning, if I can see one person that is still in the US30 buy, and you have a Globex 360 live account, let me know, because I'll do something crazy. Because if you guys are in your US30 profits, that's what it looks like, right? That's what it looks right there, right? There's on a 15-minute time frame. That's what we were discussing this morning in the session. And we spoke about the fact that if US30 can break out of that diagonal, right, we're on outside of that bear market structure, and we could potentially rally like absolutely nothing else. Now, if you are in that trade right now, remember, my goal for the day was just to make $3,000 to $5,000, but we're currently running $2,500 in profit right now. And at the moment, my profit for this session is currently sitting at just over $15,000. So as well as core, right, and all of them come out positive, and this is going to be really, really bad for indice markets across the board. So so my trades are closed. Indice markets are going to continue falling. Massive spike down. So I've secured my profits, and I'm selling off indice markets. Look at that sell. Markets are busy moving massively towards the downside. I'm in profit. I'm securing those trades because this could be a quick pullback, but ultimately I'm adding some positions towards the downside. Currently running in just over $3,000 in profit right now. My trailing stops, my stop losses are just into profit. Markets are pushing well over, let's see here, well over 1,600. Look at those trades. Look at those trades, guys. We're currently sitting in well over massive territory, $6,000. I'm closing up one of my trades here, closing up $1,500. I'm going to close up the $750 there. I've got a running trade of just over $3,000 there, sitting at $4,100. Massive CPI number. This is bad for indices as a whole. So massive sell-off as a whole. I'm keeping just 120 lot position. I've secured all of my profits, and what I'm doing now is I'm looking at setting up a trailing stop. That is a massive push, guys. Well over $5,000 right there on that position, and I'm going to be putting it at 5,000 points trailing stop. Look at that market's move. That market is moving like an absolute machine, right? I need to adjust my trailings here. 5,000 points is way too small, so I'm going to be adjusting into the 15,000 points mark. Look at that move, guys. Look at that massive move there. We are currently sitting 3,000 pips into profit. Massive move. Remember, right? A positive CPI number is good for the dollar temporarily, meaning gold will sell, Brent will sell, USD ZAR, if you're still in that buy, will go up. But look at that massive trade, running $7,000 in profit. Now, as you guys can see, a massive trading week. Now, listen, this does not happen anywhere else. Now, it doesn't matter how good of a trader you are. It doesn't matter whether you can analyze, whether you can actually take trades. It's all about your partner that you partner with, right? The broker that you choose is what it is all about. We traded over 20,000 pips live with every single one of our clients from around the world over the course of last week. We had clients doubling, tripling their accounts and withdrawing the same day on high impact news and volatility. The partner that you choose on your journey is just as important, if not even more important, than hitting that buy or sell button. There's never been a better time to not only be a trader, but to be a client of Globex 360. We had a massive week last week. We're going to do it all over again. If you wish to be a part of that, hit the link down below. And listen, if you were with us in any of these trades, let me know in the comments in YouTube. If you were part and parcel in these live sessions, you made a profit. If you traded with us, the energy was massive, and we're going to do that all over again. And we're going to be bringing the heat as we wrap up this month. Remember, the Federal Reserve is sitting down to potentially give an unprecedented interest rate hike that is going to set the market ablaze. You want to be a part of that? You want to trade with us on a daily basis? You want to get your live account funded to be part and parcel of the next trading revolution? It's Globex 360 all the way, and I'll see you on the other side.